I'm not saying anything.
Oh, there you go.
And it is going live now.
Live.
It's taking a second. I'm not saying anything.
Oh, there you go.
Gotta mute that one. All right, here we are. Live
Hello.
on the YouTubes. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Really good.
Awesome.
Is Charlie on the call?
He is.
Yes, I'm on the call.
Just no
I'm always
visuals.
here. There's a lot of hassling happening around here.
Yeah.
Moving and shaking. That's what we do.
Hey, Charlie showed up to the gym and did a workout. He did 2 workouts.
That's right. Game's
He
bound.
did.
It's either all or nothing with Charlie.
That's what
That's
I
right.
said. Mhm.
So
Let's talk.
do you want
Go
to talk about our sponsors real quick? Get that out of the way. I'd like to
I was
thank our
about
sponsor, RX Mark here. Last week, live on the air, we hit our next century mark. Cat's looking at the screen.
Yes, we did.
Does that mean we get to select a winner?
Not today. No. So
Okay.
for everyone to understand what has to happen is I have to go into YouTube and I have to manually enter in all the new subscribers onto that app. And I haven't done that yet. So that's on me. I will do that shortly and we'll have it for next week.
So next week we are giving away an RX Mark Air jump rope. We'll do that live on the air. And then also you can get your RX Mark Air jump rope at 15% off by going to rxmarkair.com using the code Clydesdale15 and get 15% off what you buy there. As long as it's not a new release or a special edition, that code counts. We also want to thank our new sponsor, Element 26. Great company. They do a lot of different things in the lifting and CrossFit space. They have this really cool product out now. It is a rip fix. I know Amy needs some of that now. And so it is actually a second skin. It dries in 60 seconds, and then you can actually get right back on the pull-up bar. It protects the wound, and it stays on for up to 5 days. And then you pull it off, and the wound should be healed underneath. Super cool product. I haven't seen anything like that anywhere else other than like the ER. So check that out. It's on their site, element26.co. All right, let's get into this.
I have
got
a
lot
special.
tonight.
I have a special friend real quick. You needed
Yeah,
to
Amy
know.
has an announcement.
This is not my baby, but one of the many perks I get when I'm coaching is that I get to snuggle babies when that maybe they need a little help. So this is my friend Braxton. He's on his first live YouTube. He's really
Love it.
excited.
He's super cute.
He is super cute. He's a
He's really
CrossFitter.
good. He's really good
Yeah.
too. Just kind of chill.
Yeah, he is. We're best friends.
Anybody else got anything going on?
I've got a sick college student still, very
Me
sick.
too.
Coughing, keeping up his roommate. Does not have strep, does not have mono, does not have COVID, but is freaking miserable.
You think it's
Okay.
RSV?
His lungs are fine. Like he's done all the things that he needs to do. It's just kind of managing those symptoms. It's viral, and like his whole campus has it essentially.
Yeah, I think Corey has the same stuff.
Yeah.
They said it's like an ugly twin sister of strep. It's not strep, but it's very similar to it, with a really intense cough.
And he's lost his voice completely. Like every third word just kind of disappears. So
I hope that he goes to the doctor when he really needs to and doesn't just wait it out and not listen to the people that care about him around him.
Well, I did have to encourage him to go somewhere to see somebody, and he went to like a walk-in place, and according to him, that walk-in place required an appointment. So he had to go find a different walk-in place. So it wasn't really a walk-in place, it was just an urgent care where you had to make an appointment. And I reminded him that he's a college student that also has a medical aid unit on campus that he could also go to.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not cool.
Not really sure who that was a shot at, me or you, Scott.
Yeah.
Both.
So we actually have a couple of people live with us, Cheryl Nasso and Brent McCarty, both
Hi,
with
guys.
us.
Hi,
Brent McCarty
Sprinkles.
wanted me to tell you, Amy, you go to WebMD. We know that being your friend, and you self-diagnose.
Hell yeah.
Listen,
I
I
do too.
have a degree from Google University, and I am trained in some medical stuff from watching 14 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. But even because of that, I knew that you did not have just allergies. So that's why I'm just recommending that people seek medical care from a
Yeah,
professional.
but it's every other week that you diagnose that you have a brain tumor.
And I was really close that one time.
Yeah.
That's like me. I've got my level Google CrossFit coaching, so I just
Mhm.
walk around and tell people that how they should do things.
Seems legit. Seems legit.
Yep.
We also had I had to take JoJo to the vet today. So my other dog, because she's got a cut on her paw that she keeps licking, and now she has like no skin or no fur on her paw, and her skin's all red. It looks like a chicken foot, like literally like poultry. And so we had to do that. They gave her like a shot of lidocaine. They gave her this antibiotic and some pain medicine that makes her super loopy. So like I gave it to her this afternoon, and she's just been like laying on the couch looking at me with these big old pupils, just kind of chilling. Yep. Always something.
My sister jumped on. So shout out to my sister.
Hi, sister.
My sister Shani.
Mhm.
So all this medical talk is like a perfect segue into one of the stories I wanted to talk about. And
For
if you
sure.
didn't see it this week, Julie Fouché talked about precision or CrossFit Precision Medical. Is that right? I wrote it down. Precision Health, CrossFit Precision Health. It is a co-op between Wild Health that she is a part of in Kentucky and CrossFit. And they are going to create a network of medical experts. And it's going to start as a telehealth thing, but their goal is to get big enough that someday they have like a doctor in every affiliate.
Yeah. Well, just think about like affiliate PTs too. I mean, I can see that affiliate, general practice.
Well,
Yeah.
and the key is that these people would all be CrossFitters as well. So they would
Sure.
they would have a different perspective than what we see in our normal physicians. And that's kind of what her and Eric Rosa talk about, along with Matt Dawson today, who owns Wild's Health. And so that's how they're starting. And they're also doing health coaching, and it's open to anyone with a CrossFit level 1, or if you have previous medical experience, you can apply and take the training and become a health coach with CrossFit. And that can be a full-time position.
Cool.
So it's a really interesting podcast that Julie did with Eric and Matt. It gets a little data heavy, as you probably guessed, with Eric on there. They talk about wearables and the stuff that you get back from all of that and how that can help. But yeah, really interesting stuff. So I wanted to throw that in while we're talking medical.
Yeah, and I forwarded you guys an email that I got from CrossFit as an
Mhm.
affiliate owner for they're beta testing it in 8 states. And I'm on some kind of wait list for, I guess, access to that service somehow. So I'll keep you guys posted as to how that
They
develops.
also said if you're interested, you can get on their waiting list at care.crossfit.com. And whenever your state becomes available, then they can reach out to you at that time. But they want people who are willing to give feedback in this first phase so that they can make it the best possible product they can.
Very cool. And I guess it will be a direct competitor of, what's the other?
Like SteadyMD.
Yeah. That one that everybody sort of is sponsored by.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're taking it a couple steps further with like the coaching and all that kind of stuff along with it. And the goal is not to stay telehealth like SteadyMD, but to change into something a little more in person.
Sure. Cool.
Anybody else got anything?
Well, I did a half marathon on Saturday.
You had, oh, you did a half. I thought you said
Yeah.
I did have a marathon.
No,
was like,
I did a
wait,
half
what?
a marathon. So every October is the Columbus Marathon. And, last year they were not able to do it in person. But it is, every mile is sponsored by a different patient from the Children's Hospital. And so there is somebody from our gym who is one of the mile patients. And so they asked if I would help put together a running training group. And so we put together like a 12-week plan and been training kind of in small groups. Some people run on Sunday, some people run on Saturdays. So we've been doing that together. And then the race is actually not until October 17th. But full disclosure, I have a wedding the night before, and I knew that I would not be able to participate appropriately in the wedding. So I went ahead and did it by myself on Saturday. And I'm going to donate what my entry fee would be in the name of ARIA. So I will be doing that shortly, but the running part is done. It was not my best time, but I did something different in training. I did training and did the race completely in intervals. So I did run 4 minutes, walk 2 minutes. And the thing that I was trying to experiment with, it was just recovery. And so my recovery each week was much better than with just solid running, just because of less impact. So that's the new stuff with me with fitness. And I hear Charlie's getting ready for the games coming up here.
Listen,
What?
let's talk about, I'm about stupid challenges.
Yeah.
So we're currently in the middle of 30 days of Annie.
We're on day 5.
We're on day 5.
Mm-hmm.
RX Smart Gear coming through with all the jumping of the double unders. And it is all kinds of awful.
So it's Annie every day, right?
Annie every day.
A version of Annie every day.
We switched the app thing up just so we don't fringe on Carrie Pierce's business model. But yes, it's awful.
So it's
we're on day
50,
5.
40, 30, 20, 10 of double unders and something.
Correct. So it's either mountain climbers or regular sit-ups, or somebody will probably do GHDs at some point. Not this guy. The little penguins is what I call them. Little heel touches. V-ups. You mix up the variety.
Love it.
Scott, what's going on with your fitness? Have you been able to do much?
It has been really bad the last couple days. Saw my doctor on Friday. I updated you guys, but not anything on here. The last procedure didn't take on my back. And it has gotten progressively worse every day this weekend and the last 2 days. Today's actually been a little bit better than yesterday, but I can't do anything. I'm struggling just sitting here talking on the microphone. I have a back brace on just to do this, but they are supposed to be sending me in something tonight to pick up to help me sleep. And then I got approved for the next procedure, and they'll call me tomorrow to schedule that.
And what is that?
And what's that?
What do they do? What's the procedure?
It's going to be a nerve ablation, where they actually are going to just burn the nerve that's affecting all of this. And then it'll grow back in a year to 18 months, but reroute around all the stuff that's causing the pain.
Oh, good. Success rate, good for that?
Yeah. And it's actually not like a long nerve. It's a nerve that stays in the spine. And so they think it was a compression issue where the discs aren't holding up. So it's compressing too much and hitting a nerve that's inside the spine.
Cool.
So yeah, it's an outpatient surgery. Yeah, just trying to stay positive and do what I can. Stick to my nutrition the best I can through all this. And I'm doing really well with that. Just got to get moving. So,
Kat, how about your fitness?
Um, Pretty good. I worked out like 3 or 4 times last week. I worked out this morning and yesterday morning with my neighbor. So yeah, we're doing like classic CrossFit stuff, a little bit of lifting, just I'm programming. Yeah, it's been fun. Luckily, she's willing to come over and do that because I wouldn't do it otherwise. I was contemplating like what gym do I have to join, to get some classes under my belt because I just need like that structure. So this is good for now, and then we'll see what happens. But in terms of like, I'm starting to notice that I am nowhere near where I was. Like this summer, I could have faked it a little bit and been like, okay, yeah, like I'm still pretty fit. And I've lost a lot of fitness. So I know the Open's coming. I have to sort of make a decision. Do I want to try to be slightly competitive in the Open, like for my age, or do I want to just kind of coast through? And I'm leaning towards the competitive part of it just because that's what I enjoy and like to do. So more to come on that, but hopefully I'm feeling good and getting more consistent with my workouts. It's really just making it a priority or not. And I just haven't been because I got 8,000 other things going on. So
Right.
it's all good.
So Cheryl's asking if anybody's doing the WAZA qualifiers, which actually started this week. Do we know anybody that is? I know Cheryl is, but I don't.
Yeah, I know several other, well, it's not several, a small handful of people here at the gym that are doing it. I think, I don't know if it masters or regular, to be honest. I think, I don't think I think one of them is regular because not old enough to do masters yet.
Yeah, Eamon Coyne was doing them. He was here yesterday and had to leave early to go tackle one of them, the clean and jerk workout. So they look terrible. The workouts look
More wall walks.
very, very challenging. So
I haven't looked at them, but you know what? Why not? Let's do it.
Charlie.
let's do
And the
it.
Zalos game started this week too. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there really is. I was listening to some interview and someone was saying something about Rogue and like, how do you feel about Rogue being invitation only? And I'm like, it's like the only option to be invitational. Like nobody has time to do any qualifiers anywhere, especially these like elite guys who want to make a run at some of these other events like Wadapalooza. I don't know. Do they invite elite athletes to Wadapalooza too? Or do they have to do the online qualifier? Like, do all the big names have to do them? I wonder.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe Cheryl knows. She's been through the process.
Yeah.
And she knows some of the people. I do not know that definitively.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But Rogue has to do that, right? They want to be the premier. They want to be the premier competition in the off season, and they want to get the best of the best. And you're going to get the best of the best if you don't make them do an online qualifier.
Right.
And Cheryl says yes, that they do some elite invites to Wadapalooza.
Do.
Okay. They do.
They do.
I better check my mail.
Yeah, you better check that, Charlie.
Getting lost in the mail. Yeah, we're waiting for my athlete is waiting for his invitation to Legends Masters or Masters Legends. I don't even know what the name of it is anymore, but those are supposed to come out tomorrow, I think.
Does he have a good shot?
According to the leaderboard, he is right within a qualifying spot. I also think that there's a few people above him that I know for a fact aren't going. So even if he was a little bit below the line, I think he'd get like a second round invite. So we shall see. It's kind of exciting. They're doing, I heard that they're doing like a whole day of check-ins, athlete check-ins the Wednesday before the weekend, a la Noble, like in the games. Like you have a specific time to come in, you have a locker, you go, you try on all your stuff and you get a picture taken and all that cool thing. So I'm excited for my guy. He's gonna have a ton of fun.
Plus San Diego in December is pretty sweet.
I mean, seriously, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sprinkle said, Charlie, you and him can go old man team.
Old man strong.
And Cheryl said, what about Bethany? Didn't get the invite to Rogue. Carrie did.
Danielle did.
That is interesting.
I'm sure Bethany opted not to do it. I'm I guarantee you she was considered, and she probably let them know that she wouldn't accept it anyway, if I had to bet.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to know. Maybe I'll
Didn't
reach
she
out
just-
to her and see.
Didn't she just move here from Texas, or move to Vegas from Texas?
Yeah.
Like last winter. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think she is Dubai, right? I think
Maybe.
I saw she was confirmed for something. So I think Dubai is the only other one doing the confirmations, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about these sort of 3 primary off-season competitions, maybe even 3.5 if you want to count like the fittest experience in Austin as well. There are some athletes that have gone public to say that they're doing all of them. Kelly Adams, I think Guy, he's at least doing Dubai and Rogue. And it's like, how do we feel about all these young people? I mean, I guess they're young and they can sort of handle it. I think the fact that the Open and the semifinals or the quarterfinals are the way they are, that they don't have to be super, super ready for the Open. They can pretty much just show up for the Open and move on to that next session. But I just worry about some of these folks like getting hurt or
Overtraining.
just running into some snafu that they didn't think about and sort of paying the consequences of doing all this traveling and competing in the off season. I don't know. Makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's their one shot to make money, and some of them are trying to take that opportunity while they can. So that's got to be a big conundrum, right? Like, we want to make some money, but we want to be healthy enough for the season.
True.
But like with Rogue and Dubai, you can make more money at those than you can at the games.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
But it's not like you want to do them at the exclusion of the games, because you still want to
Right.
go to the games, right?
But you're right, with the new format of the Open, like, you don't have to be, because your scores get wiped clean for the quarters. And all you have to do is finish top 10%.
Right.
You know, these elite athletes can do that, not being primed for the Open.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but I see your concern. I can, like, these younger bodies, because I know Emma's doing Rogue and Wadapalooza for sure. I think she's doing Dubai too.
She's doing Dubai also. Yep.
So, she's 17 doing back
Okay,
to
but-
back to back.
But then you have the Open, then you have quarterfinals, then you have semifinals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but the Open's
is a
one
lot.
workout a week.
sure.
You know,
That they repeat several times over.
yeah. Just
True.
Dubai is legendary for its like very hard workouts.
It's like a
Rogue
mini
the same
games.
way.
Not even. I mean, there's going to be, it's like a whole, I think there's 10 or 11 events at Rogue or at Dubai.
Yeah, like, it's insane. It's like 11 events in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I see your concern, but I can see
Yeah.
where they would want to make some cash too.
Sure. Speaking of Guy, we're going to talk about Guy and his move to Mayhem.
Sure.
Pretty exciting for him.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Well, that works
because-
out because of the Reeboks too.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely showed he has the talent.
Yeah.
For different aspects of CrossFit, and hopefully he can learn the rest from that crew.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I honestly, and we've sort of talked about this a little bit, I worry about how Facundo is going to balance his time with the athletes that are at Mayhem and the time that he has with his athletes who are remote. And I don't know if that's a real concern or not, but we'll just talk about it. Like, we saw, who was it? Was it Spencer at CompTrain? We're like, is he going to be a CompTrain athlete now? Like, what is going on? And I don't know. And I know that Facundo has been his coach in the past. And I just wonder sort of what the climate is around all of that, because Mayhem's getting a lot of athletes, and that's like a full stable of people that require a lot of attention, and you can only coach so many people effectively. So just be curious to see
So
how that all shakes out.
In Rich's interview with the Morning Chalk Up, he talks about possibly moving into coaching once he's done with his career. Do you think that this is like the step into that, where he'll take on some more of the coaching duties and maybe, bring on like a Tasia, someone like that to help him as like a coaching team for all those athletes, and not just Facundo, but all of them?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't see Rich stepping away just yet. I mean, I think he's still going to be, I don't know, maybe he's not, maybe he's not going to go this year. I mean, he's had issues before with having an elite athlete, under the same roof as him. And like, why would he feel any different now? So maybe you're onto something. Maybe he is looking to step away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to ponder.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Rich, you saw that he confirmed as a legend
Yeah.
at Rogue as an individual. So you get to see him back on the floor one more time as an individual athlete.
Yeah. And he did that in 2019.
Both.
But his team was at Rogue too. And then he jumped into a workout or two
Right.
in the Legends division. So I just wonder if this time around he's going to, I mean, obviously there's no teams going to Rogue, so that's not a conflict. But yeah, it should be cool to see him in the mix with everybody else. And it'll give him a taste of, what individuals like again, because it's been a while.
Yeah. I love the lineup they have. Stacy Tovar confirmed this week. Julie Fouché last week.
Stacy's pregnant too.
Oh, that's right. She was pregnant last time they did this and couldn't come.
Right. Well, with that second pregnancy, Amy, like you're so less cautious.
You're less worried.
Second one, you're like, I got this.
Yeah.
So true.
And before we get into some of the really big news, one more quick thing is Lift Move Work got announced as a new online competition from CrossFit. And it's going to be like open light, but it's going to be segregated into a lifting movement, a gymnastics movement, and then an engine workout. And it's 3 workouts. You have 1 weekend to complete it. And they're going to show gym leaderboards, city leaderboards, and worldwide leaderboards.
When is that happening?
It is October 21st through the 25th.
Oh, okay.
With everything else.
Yeah, right.
And it's only $10.
Oh, that's cool. I could do that.
So, yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
So do we want to talk about the big interview from the last week?
Yeah. I just want to say one more thing. Roman Krennikov is having a baby. A Russian baby.
Maybe his baby will make it into the States for his CrossFit Games appearance.
Right?
I did see that about Roman. Yep. More CrossFit babies, but not as cute as this baby.
I know. He's really so good, Amy.
I know, this has been a half an hour and he's been good.
Just chilling. He must have a full belly and a clean diaper.
Yeah. And we're best friends.
Love that too.
He doesn't get in fights with me like Charlie does.
He'll learn. He'll
learn.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
Big interview. Charlie's man, Ricky Garrard with Chase Ingram, released earlier this week, or late last week.
Late last week, yeah.
If you didn't see it, it's about 90 minutes. And they talk about what happened with Ricky, what he did during his suspension and what he wants to do going forward. So who wants to start with their takeaways from the interview?
I'll start. I appreciated the bluntness of some of the questions that were asked. So we have like pretty clear information about, what he was taking and when he was taking it, and all that. I think Ricky sounded contrite, which is the way he needed to sound, for everyone to sort of accept his accepting of the responsibility for what he did. It has been a long time. I mean, 4 years is a really long time to be sort of out of the sport, but still participating in the sport. It's been said before that no one else at that level has really left and come back. I'm concerned that
one thought. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So during this 4 years, though, that he has been continuing to do CrossFit, has he been tested during those 4 years leading up? Because couldn't he maybe go ahead? What?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say next, is that he's been tested once, and it was about 6 months ago. So, knowing that you have 4 years, do you calculate that and go, okay, well, I can continue to take these for the next year and a half or whatever, build up my base and do whatever. Now, that being said, it wasn't like he was taking steroids. These were SARMs that, while they are performance enhancing, and I don't have any personal knowledge about it, but they're not the kind of things that are like going to completely, turn you from a lamb to a gorilla. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's necessarily how they work. And if someone knows more about them, maybe they can correct me on that. But my only weirdness about the interview was, at one point in time, Ricky talks about how he saw Matt, doing something, spitting into a cup, was changing color of the water, that whole thing, before he was tested. Like, they were all corralled after the event, and then they all get drug tested. Now, I've been a part of that drug testing process at a sanctional event. Like, I've been one of the chaperones for one of the athletes. And it was actually Chantel Lohner who actually failed the drug test at MAC in 2019. However, I'm pretty sure that you are not allowed to eat or drink anything from the time that you are called into the corral until you actually get tested. So the fact that Matt was able to even have chewing tobacco is very suspect to me. Now, I'm not saying that because of that, Matt was trying to cheat his drug test, or that he's on drugs, or I'm not saying any of that. Just, it was surprising to me to learn, because I remember when we were corralling athletes and people were trying to pass them bottles of water or bottles of recovery that we were like, no, you can't, nope, you can't have any of that. Like, they were completely cut off from everyone, even if it was a bottle of water. So I would be very surprised to know that behavior, that act of ingesting tobacco before a drug test was even allowed. That's my only sort of head scratcher from the whole thing.
I have the same head scratch. I also chaperone drug tests at regionals, and they were not allowed to grab anything.
Right.
There was some water supplied to them if they needed it to be able to pee. But it was, but it was supplied to them. I don't know why Ricky went down that road, right? Because I thought he was very contrite and everything up until that point. And why, and you could see he paused and he didn't want to say it. And then Chase kind of asked him a few more times and he went ahead and revealed it. But I wish he wouldn't have, because I think it took away from the other aspect of the interview where I think he did seem very sincere and apologetic. And it was that little part of him that was like being defensive, going, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, well, but I will say that Chase prompted him on that, because it was during the conversation when Chase said, in your Instagram post, after, being, after popping, basically, you sort of indicated that you figured that a lot of people in the top spots were taking drugs, and like, where did that come from? And that's when he started talking about Matt's suspicious behavior. So it was, I don't know if Chase said that on purpose to get him to try to talk about that or not, because it didn't seem like Ricky wanted to talk about it. But then, and again, you have to remember, this whole interview, I'm sure there was lots of pre-conversations happening, between Chase and Ricky, and Ricky's people and Chase's people, to determine what they were going to talk about, what they weren't going to talk about. And so while I do agree that it came across sort of like not in the right place. But I think he was only responding to how Chase brought it up. And if you're not,
Okay.
you know, a super confident guy or super great at public speaking, you're just going to pretty much get led through the conversation. And I don't think he felt like he could not talk about it. Maybe.
My only devil's advocate piece to that is he said, I don't want to talk about that first. Like he said to Chase, I don't want to talk about that. And then as the conversation went on, he goes, you know what? I do want to talk about it. And that's when he kind of let it go. And
yeah, well, but I think at that point it was too late because he had already sort of, even just saying, I don't want to talk about it. Now it's like, if that's all he said, that's all we'd be talking about right now is what was the thing that, you know, what was the thing that he said he didn't want to talk about? And so I think I think his hand was forced a little bit by the questioning.
yeah,
And then again, that's just.
I think he said, I don't want to talk about it. And he admitted that it was Matt. And at that point it was too late. Then he realized it's too late. I named Matt. It's going to be a thing. I might as well explain it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy had to leave. She had to go coach.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my biggest head scratcher. The rest of it I was fine with. I actually thought Chase did a great job. That's not an easy interview to do. And he pushed where I thought he needed to push. In my head, I have a handful of follow-up questions, but I think if I did the interview, Chase would say the same thing about me. So we do that all the time when we interview a guest and we say goodbye and we're like, oh, I should have, you know. So
yeah,
I think Chase did a great job. Actually, I was really impressed by the way he handled it. But yeah, he's back and he deserves a second chance. He paid his penalty. And just so you know, there are 8 other athletes who are now back in CrossFit. Now, none of the names do we know, but they were found to be using performance enhancing drugs at the same time Ricky was. So 8 more came back off of their penalty on the same day.
And have we heard, speaking of penalties, have we heard anything about some of the other athletes that we've heard about from the games?
No, I actually was on there looking today for those types of things because I knew we were going to talk about Ricky tonight. And so I couldn't, the only one I could find is the one where they announced the 4.
Which 4?
It was not even like Stephanie Waugh was not in that one. And it was
Nick Block
the
wasn't
team
in that one
ones,
either.
like from the.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. So yeah, so Nick Block and Stephanie Waugh are, I guess, appealing maybe. I don't know, since they haven't said anything, maybe they're in the middle of their appeals. Maybe, I assume if their appeals were approved, we would hear something from those folks. So maybe more to come on that.
Yeah. And Cheryl said, I just want Vellner to beat him, bring him back and let Vellner have his redemption.
Yeah, for sure. Vellner's not going to Dubai, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen all of theirs. It's been hard to keep up, especially with Instagram down yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think Vellner's going to Dubai, but I'm curious to see how Ricky does and how he presents himself on the competition floor. And I'm really curious to see how fans will receive him as well. And I hope, God, I hope there's no booing. Like, I just hope that we don't go there because that's not like the CrossFit way. I don't want to see that.
I think we're going to see it.
Really?
I want him to come out in like a NWO old school t-shirt.
I don't know. I really hope that doesn't happen. The booing part.
I think there's going to be some booing. I don't think it's going to be like a unanimous boo thing until he proves that he's clean. Like he passes some tests, and he does well at events.
The thing that sucks is he's just in an impossible situation, even moving forward. Because let's say he goes to Dubai and he wins, right? Everyone's going to say, well, he only got tested 6 months ago. He's probably been taking drugs all the way up through then. And who knows what's been going on, and he doesn't deserve it. And if he does poorly, people are going to be like, see, he shouldn't have bothered, go back to Australia and, keep doing your SARMs or whatever. But like, it sucks for him. I think either way, it sucks for him. I see potentially a redemption story coming through, but it's going to be hard. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen at Dubai. And it's, not going to happen at Wadapalooza. Might not even happen at the games this year. Like it might take a few seasons of trust,
I think it all just depends on how it plays out. I'm a big NFL fan, and people test positive and they come back and they're heroes again. The fans have a short memory if someone turns out to be pretty cool, right? It's just all how he handles it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just feel like our sport is so different in that way that we really do vilify those that do the performance and like it's not as commonplace and as accepted, as in other sports. And I'm not saying that it should be, but it's just different. Same with the booing. Like I'd be really disappointed if he gets booed, because I just don't think that's the way our fans behave.
Yeah, and my feelings. I think that if we're going to become a professional sport and a mainstream sport, you're going to have people not like people and boo. Like that just shows they have a more vested interest in it than just a casual fan.
Yeah.
I
just don't like it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, the difference between the sport and the community of health and fitness, right? In the gym, nobody should be booed. Nobody should be, right? But on the competition floor, it's all fair game depending on what bed you made.
Yeah. I guess for me though, it's like there are already athletes out there that I don't like, and I would never boo them. I know and I'm not unusual. I'm not, there are a lot of people like me that don't like some athletes for whatever reason. And yet we still don't, we kind of roll our eyes at them or whatever, but we don't actually like actively wish them terrible things in public.
Right. Publicly. Yeah.
Publicly.
I'm with you. It's because nobody's doing it right now. So you don't want to be the first.
Right. Right. Well, that's true too. But I don't know that I would bandwagon either. Like I wouldn't. And maybe that's just because of my role in the sport too. Like I want to be
fair and impartial.
A part of the media piece of it. So that would be unbecoming of someone in the media to do that.
I'm with you.
So I just stuff my feelings. Right? I stuff my feelings.
If you increase the alcohol content at events, you'll get some people going.
True.
All right. Well, do you have anything else before we get to the questions?
No, let's get to the questions.
All right. First one is Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah. So this is in response to yesterday, right? When nobody had anything to do except be on TikTok. I'm going to say, or Twitter. Yeah. I'm going to say if I had to get rid of one, I'd probably get rid of Facebook and I would keep Instagram. It's just way more versatile. I'd have to follow a lot more people though, probably.
Yeah. I just did a purge, we talked about it at the games, and I did a big purge with my phone, but I'd have to get rid of Facebook too. I very rarely go on Facebook now. The only way I post is if I use I'm on Instagram and I say, go ahead and post this to Facebook.
Yeah.
Because one, I like pictures better than reading. And Facebook's just way too political right now. Way too political.
That's true.
Agreed on both of you. Instagram for sure.
And then throw in a little TikTok just for some fun.
I mean, always. My only complaint about Instagram, and this is something I hope they enhance at some point in time, is I would like to be able to put links in my posts. The fact that you cannot do that in the comments when you're writing a caption drives me insane.
You can when you reach 10,000 followers.
You can?
That seems to be a high bar.
Really?
Yeah. When you reach 10,000, you can do the swipe up links, and you can do.
But even even in a caption on a post, you can do that?
I believe so.
Okay. So yeah, they need to lower the bar on that stuff. Come on, people.
Yeah, that's like, I was super excited when I got over 1,000. Like that's
Right?
big for
Yeah.
us.
Woo,
But yeah.
that's crazy.
And then I can't remember the second question. So
Second question was, what was your most recent surgery? Like going under general anesthesia surgery. And I had a hard time like thinking about this one. But I'm going to go with my hip labrum repair. That was June 10th, 2016. There you have it. Because I remember I went to the games in Carson in late July of 2016 with my stupid little hip brace thing hobbling around. That's how I remember.
Charlie, what's yours?
That's fun. Have you ever been under general? You've never been under general anesthesia?
Not really.
Wow.
Not that I can think of.
That's good.
Maybe a wisdom
that I
teeth
had-
out?
Yeah, it doesn't count.
So my back procedure
Yeah.
2.5 weeks ago, I was under twilight.
Okay.
And then when I had my leg ablation, I was fully under.
When was that?
Leg ablation was maybe, I was doing the podcast, so it's less than 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I was like January.
Of
January
19.
January of 19, probably.
Cool.
Yeah. Anybody got anything cool that they saw on the internet?
There's this new guy on TikTok that I'm following who does reenactments of Facebook Marketplace interactions. And it's hysterical. So he starts every TikTok with like, this is a real post on Marketplace for a pair of high-heeled shoes. And then he dresses up like with a funny wig for the person who's like, is this still available? And then they cut back to him like in a ball cap and he said, yes, when would you like to pick it up? And then they go back to the person that's doing it. It's like, hi, thank you, love you. And then they go back to the guy. I'm sorry, would you like to pick this up tomorrow? And then they go back to some of the funniest interactions. Oh my goodness. And having just posted a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, like I can completely relate to all of them. So that is my highlight of the week. TikTok, you don't stop.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. Charlie?
Yeah, I don't really have anything either.
You guys are great.
I've been so
down.
into Chicago Bears stuff and Justin Fields starting and our coach being the dumbest coach in the NFL.
Is that football you're talking about?
It is.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's what I've been watching on the internet, is everybody railing on my coach, the Bears coach, and how awful he is. So yeah, that's all I've been watching.
Okay.
And then who are we releasing on Monday? Well, actually, we have one tomorrow.
Yes. So
Thursday.
I sat down with Nate Ackerman, the CrossFit Games champion, male 16 to 17-year-old. My future son-in-law, Eliana Shear's future husband. Yes. So funny story, not funny, awful story. I think I talked about this last week. The whole first 20 minutes of our interview doesn't exist because I didn't hit the record button. So there's this cheesy little intro of me trying to get you up to speed. And then we go right into the conversation about him at the games and how he does and what he's got coming up and all that. But yeah, cute kid. And we'll definitely have to have him on again because he had some really cool stories about his sports growing up that totally did not get recorded. So you'll have to wait till our second edition to find out. But Nate Ackerman is coming to you early Thursday morning.
And then is it Annie on Monday?
And then Annie Sakamoto on Monday. Yes.
And I got to sit down with her and we talked about her winning the games in the 45 to 49-year-old division. And that's her first win, legend that she is. It's her first gold medal at the games. And she's pretty stoked about it. And that was pretty fun to see how excited she actually got. And then we talk about records for a while, and that's about it.
And remember when we first interviewed her, when she talked about how terrified she was to compete at the CrossFit Games way back when in, 2008 and 9, because she just felt like people were going to judge her if she wasn't, this amazing athlete because she had so much to do with CrossFit. So it's just kind of cool that things have come full circle and that she's on the top of the podium. I love that for her.
Yeah, I actually bring that up to her in the interview.
Oh, good.
And say, like, remember last time you were on, you said that you were afraid. And then we kind of transfer that into her broadcasting career now, and how that she feels outside the box, like, and very uncomfortable, but that's how you grow. And so.
Exactly. Very
and
cool.
Then my
and
sister
you had a, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you had an inaugural Clydesdale Chronicles episode launch last week with Cheryl.
We did.
So
we did. And that was really just an intro episode, just about how we met. And then we're just going to take little components of my weight loss journey, just little 10, 15-minute episodes where we talk about just little aspects that, what am I feeling as the person losing the weight, and what is she thinking as the coach through that process, to kind of get both ends of the spectrum on that.
Very cool.
And my sister's favorite thing from the internet was Walter in a sombrero.
Of course it was. I couldn't agree more.
So, yeah.
Super cute.
He is part Chihuahua, so he was embracing his heritage.
I love it.
Well, huge thanks to RX Smart Gear for being the test sponsor of the show. Don't forget Clydesdale 15 at rxsmartgear.com, and also Element 26 at element26.co. Very innovative. Get that rip fix that they have. It is phenomenal. And they can't keep it on the shelves.
Wow.
So get it when it's there, because it's not going to be there for long.
They need to sell more grips.
Yeah.
If they sold more grips, they wouldn't need to sell that stuff. I love it.
And we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends.
I'll get better lighting next time, guys. I promise.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, wrong button.